Hey, it's Aaron from GameEnthus.com. This one is about Pirate's Mark. Sail the high seas, stake your claim, don't get marked. From Puzzol Creative. Pirate's Mark is a party game from 2 to 10 players in this box. Ages 10 and up. Plays in about 30 minutes. And this is the expansion, the Party. You can see that. The Party expansion to go up to 15 players. That's a lot of players. I don't think I know 15 people. 1, 2. Okay, I know 14 people total. So cool. This will be more about the base game here, but this does exist. So setting up Pirate's Mark is going to require me to lay out a 10 by 13 grid. Well, I'm not sure if this table can accommodate, but I'll do the best job I can do. So here we go. Those are instructions. Those are important, but they're not going to be part of the grid. So they can't really go there either. So I'll push these over to the side. Or maybe keep them over here for reference material. I mean, that's not the setup yet. You have treasure cards, which don't really do anything. They are a treasure. You have Pirate's Mark cards. These are the bomb cards, if you will. These are the ones that you're not going to want to get, because they will mean you are just about halfway to being dead. Probably don't want that. They all have a little thing on them, like this one says, well, they all say Pirate's Mark, but this one says you've got a dawn appointment with the gallows, and I'd hate for you to miss it. Spend the rest of your days contemplating the phrase, silent as the grave. Also, this logo in the upper right corner, maybe a little hard to see right there. This logo right here, the swords crossed. Any card with that logo on it means you would still follow its instructions, or it has its ability. Its ability is maintained in dual mode. I'll get to that in a second. Where should I put this? So it's still in the shot, and it has found a new home. I don't know if it'll stay there based on how the grid is being built, but we shall see. So you put in, I think, Pirates cards up to 1 less than the people playing. So let's say we're doing a 4-player game. If I'm simulating that, I guess I'd use 3 of them. You have a compass. There are some cards that are going to use this to say pick X number of cards from the west of here, east of here, that kind of thing. Okay, so just some of the other cards. So this one is Deal with Davy Jones. So you can see that one. And it says you made a deal with the devil. Play this card to erase a Pirate's Mark, but pull another and you're dead. So there are some cards that will let you sort of come back. Maelstrom. This one says your ship is going down. Return all your cards to the sea. I don't want to do that. Swab the poop deck. Pull 1 additional card. When you're pulling these cards, when you pull a card, you have to show everyone what the card is. And there's no secrets in the game. So if it's something that you have to activate, then people who you're playing with are going to make you do it, which makes sense. Siren Song. You're caught in the spell. Pull 3 additional cards. Ooh. Okay, we've walked the plank. Yeah, this is it. Walk the plank. You must pull every card in the same row west of this card. So wherever you pulled this from, you'd have this on the side or what have you, and you'd have to adhere to whatever it says. I'm not going to read all of them, but I'll just read this last one. Mass Mutiny. Every unmarked player chooses 1 card for you to pull. Oh boy. It means everybody against you instantly. And unmarked means any player that does not currently have a Pirate's Mark. Okay. So those are just some of the examples of some of the cards that you can pull and what some of the abilities might be. But if they're not these cards that have particular actions and things, they're just treasure cards or rum cards. They're just kind of the generic cards. Eye patches, pieces of 8. They don't really do anything. So it says Whirlpool. Pull the cards touching the 4 sides of this card. Don't tell me what to do. There's also luck and curse cards. Weird if I could find one and show it, because some of them you have to take the action as soon as you get it. Others, you kind of have an option. You can kind of store them for later, assuming that you don't pull a card that makes you get rid of everything you have. A lot of cards in this game. Okay, this is a mutiny card. It has a 4-leaf clover on it, as you can see. So it says mutiny. Play this card to force a player to pull 1 additional card. Now, it doesn't say you have to do it immediately. So this is the type of card where, well, these are both luck and curse cards. So, well, this one is a curse for you, but this one is something you could use later on to your advantage. You might want to do that. Oh, and then if you're wondering, the die here, I can take it out, is for the 2-player variant where you would roll it and then you'd have to pick that number of cards, because part of the game is a bidding game. I'll get into that in a second. And in a 2-player game, how do you really bid? I mean, you could, but you know. So it's funny. One of my daughters like, why is it so dirty? I said, that's not dirt, honey. That's theme. But that is for the 2-player game. Okay, so let's talk setup here. I said earlier, number of pirate cards you would put into the deck to make the 10x13 grid would be 1 less than the number of players playing. Simulating a 4-player game means I'm going to need 3 Pirates Mark cards. And also, you're going to need the number of Pirate Mark cards and curse cards should add up to 25. So I have 22 curse cards plus the 3 Pirates Mark cards, 25. And look, there's scurvy. Reminds me of a song.
We got scurvy, we need some vitamin C.
I'm getting distracted. Okay, so I would shuffle all of these things together. And then I'm going to make a 10x13 grid. Okay, so this is my abridged setup. I think this is a 9x11, so it's not quite the 13x10 it's supposed to be, but I suspect this will illustrate how the game plays sufficiently. So the player who goes first is the player who, according to everybody playing, or the majority of those playing, most looks like a pirate. So in my household, I'm the only one who has a beard, so they probably would choose me to go first, and they have. The game begins with bidding. Starting off with the player who goes first, you would bid that you could say, hey, I can pick 5 cards without drawing a Pirate's Mark. At that point, everybody except the person who would follow you to bid can call your bluff. So player 1 bids, player 2 can't call their bluff, a player 3 or 4 could call player 1's bluff, and so on and so forth. Player 2 could say, no, I could, pick 7. And player 3 says, no, I could pick 8, and nobody calls their bluff. Player 4 says, no, I could pick 11. So player 1 can't call player 4's bluff, but player 2 or 3 can. At that point, player 2 says, no, you can't. So they have to pick 11 cards. That's 1. That's a treasure. 2. That's a sword. All these cards just have items on them. They don't mean anything unless they have some flavor text, which gives you instructions on things you have to do. Okay. 3. That's rum. Oh boy. I drew a deal with Davy Jones. You made a deal with the devil. Play this card. Oh, this is actually good. Okay. Now play this card to erase a Pirate's Mark, but pull another and you're dead. So you can get rid of one with this card, but if you draw another one, you die. That's 4. That's 5. 6. What did I say? 11. Okay, we got jewels. Family jewels. 7. Let's say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, 10. This one says walk the plank. This is a curse card because you can see the crossbones in the upper left corner, and then on the upper right you have the swords crossing. That means this is a card that can be played in the duel mode. Duel mode is when you have 10 or less cards. Everybody's alternating picking one. I think the bidding stops at that point. Everybody's just choosing one card at a time and hoping to survive. So anyway, this says you must pull every card in the same row south of this card. And fortunately, I plucked that card from right here. So south of this card is only one card. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. What's this? 5, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I feel like the action this is telling me to do is separate from me picking my 11 cards. So I have to pick this one. Oh crap! I got scurvy.
We got scurvy. We need some vitamin C.
So scurvy says you got scurvy. Pull the pirate's mark and you're dead. Break this curse with 1 orange. So you get some vitamin C. Well, enough of it. I mean, I don't know if 1 orange will save you, but scurvy's real. Don't sleep. Scurvy's a thing. Okay, so even though I have 11 cards over here, I only picked this card because I was instructed to by the walk the plank, telling me to pick cards in a certain direction. Now I'm picking my 11th card. Let's say I just choose, pick it. This one. Maelstrom, your ship is going down. Return all your cards to the sea. Okay, well, that's actually not bad because between the scurvy and deal with Davy Jones, that could be bad. Now, I know that if there are cards that will let you return a pirate's mark to the sea. The cards is the grid. The grid of cards is the sea. There are cards that will let you return things to the grid, and I believe everybody has to close their eyes when that happens. I'm not certain whether or not any cards that are not pirates marks require all other players to close their eyes. They don't see where they go. But on the flip side, I mean, they'll be over anyway, so it doesn't make any difference. If you're putting one card down, people can see where you're putting that. So I get to put all these back. Now, I'm probably better off without scurvy and better off not meeting Davy Jones. So I'm good. Should have looked at that. I'm good. And that was player 4's turn. In terms of theme, there are cards like Plunder, which lets you steal cards from other players. So that is a thing. There's also interesting cards like Blackbeard's Sword. Play this card to peek under the number of cards left in your bid. Very interesting card. I like that. Just as an example, these are the pirate marked cards, not the ones that are out here. So marked. Marked means you have a pirate's mark card. You're marked. It's sitting in front of you. Everybody knows you're a marked character. You get another one, you're dead. You're out of the game. You pretty much can't come back once you're dead, I think. But if you have a marked card, it's not good, but there are cards that will let you put it back, and there's other ways of getting it back. Another way of getting it back is if you're marked and you call another player's bluff and they draw a marked card while they're drawing cards, the player who was already marked gets to put their mark back. Everybody will close their eyes and they get to place it back into the sea. That's one way of doing it. So another way to do it is called the Kiss of Death. So if there are more than 10 cards still in the sea, a player can call Kiss of Death. Only one can be activated at a time. You can call Kiss of Death. What that means is they're sort of hedging their bet that within the next 3 turns, one of those players is going to draw a marked card. If they do, the marked player successfully says, hey, Kiss of Death, and within those next 3 turns, a player draws a marked card, then they get to put their marked card back and rejoin the game as normal. That is good. When you are marked, you don't place bids, but you can call other players' bluffs. So that's a way that you can sort of come back. I showed you there are cards that will allow you to come back in with certain conditions. Okay. So duel mode occurs when there are 10 or less cards left, or there's just 2 players left. There's just 2 players left. They're just going to go back and forth, picking one card at a time, and trying to survive without getting a second pirate's mark. Well, not getting one at all, essentially. But if you have one, you don't want a second. If you don't have any at all, you don't want 2, certainly. And they're going to go back and forth trying to figure that out. So that is, in a nutshell, sort of how the game plays. The rules, sometimes the rules sort of have a lot of work for such a game that's simple mechanically. The rules have this weird way of like being verbose for what's really mechanically fairly simple game to play. But it's a party game. It's a game where you want a bunch of people, nobody's focusing too hard. You're just hearing a number and drawing cards and just having a good time. You need a pretty decently sized table as well for this game. So this is a relatively small table. I use this table to do a lot of different content. It works for the most part, but it's a little truncated right now. But you get the idea of how the game might go. So yeah, that is Pirate's Mark. My thoughts: it's fun. It's fun with more people. Like I said, with the expansion, you can go up to 15 people. The party mode, party. So that's pretty cool. It's not something I want to play frequently, but it is something where if I know there's a lot of people, you want to have an activity where everybody can kind of be engaged and laughing and having a good time. Imbibing or not, I don't imbibe myself, but this game is definitely probably geared towards people who imbibe a bit, and I can see people who imbibe having a good time just drawing these cards. And I like the interaction, like with the scurvy.
We got scurvy, we need some vitamin C.
If you get the orange card, you can negate it. And the Davy Jones locker, there's a lot of different types of cards. Every card isn't just treasure or jewels or whatever, which are just like generic cards. There are cards that play off each other. And yeah, as you see the numbers dwindling, or if you had a mark and you got to put it back, as those numbers start to fall, you definitely want to play that to your advantage and, call people out and try to get them to get that marked card and hope that they don't. The interesting thing is the penalty for getting it, you don't have to draw one card. So if you call my bluff, you say, hey, no, you can't do 11. And then I do. Your penalty for trying to call my bluff is just picking one card. But I say that with the C being this full. As the game continues and there's still pirates marks out there, it's going to get that much more difficult. Interesting note is that if you do die and you have pirates marks, you take them out of the game with you, which I guess depending on how many people you have playing could really tweak those odds a bit. Anyway, the game is fun. It's not something I'll bring to the table very frequently, but it definitely is something that I think in a large group could be a lot of fun to play every now and then to keep people sort of engaged. It's a good party game. I definitely think that, but I feel like 4 or 5 it's still cool. I feel like 5 is where it gets it's best at around 5 to me. 4 is still doable. Obviously, there's a 2-player mode, which is not bad using the very thematic die I showed you earlier. It's pretty cool. I feel like having listened to my explanation of how you will play the game, already if this is something that you're going to want in your collection. I didn't hide anything. There's no other deep strategy. This is a party game where you're just drawing cards and trying not to get the pirate's mark. So it's fairly simple, fairly straightforward. Certain things I'm not so wild about. The cards, you have a lot of cards here. They don't really shuffle all that easily. They can be shuffled, but they're, they don't shuffle as well as longer cards. But that's kind of my only real complaint. What you see is what you get. So, Pirate's Mark, available now where games are sold or something. Anyway, you can do it for me. Thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed the video. Give it a like, thumbs up, share it with a friend, share it with an enemy, share it with a friend of me. All that good stuff. Take care. Wear a mask. Get vaccinated if you can. And still wear a mask. All right. I'm going to say take care for like the 18th time. So take care. Be blessed.